Welcome back. Emails, text messages, Facebook posts, and tweets every day. We're, really inundated with dozens and dozens of tempting links. Some of them are from family and friends and some from our favorite stores, but a lot of them are from scammers. And sometimes it's really hard sorting out the legit messages from the con jobs. Sure, some of the scams are pretty obvious. They're vague, they have horrible grammar, and they ask for money. Super obvious. They sound like they're written by a robot. But then there are the other ones, the messages personally addressed to you that ask you questions about your interests. They provide details about themselves. They don't want any money. They just want to get to know you. And here's the really scary thing. Sometimes they're not even messages. They're actually live chats. Chats that put your mind at ease. Just a brand new friend that you met online. Those, my friends, are usually romance scams, and they are playing the long game. And more often than not, they are based in Nigeria. And unlike the other scams, Nigerian romance scams are sophisticated, and they run like a business. They even have a training manual, and every scammer gets a copy. It's called, and I'm not kidding, How to Make a White Woman Fall in Love with You from Online Chat. That is the real title. It's a 40-page playbook broken up into chapters about how to research, approach, and woo an unsuspecting American woman. And it's very, very effective. In 2021, Americans lost a record $547 million to romance scams. It's $500 million in just a year. But that could be about to change because now we have a copy of that playbook, and we're about to share the secrets with you. I'm joined by David McClellan. He is the president of the website socialcatfish.com, and he's the one that got a hold of this super secret playbook, and he's with me now live. So, David, how did you get this playbook? You have a guy on the inside?
So we do. So basically what my company does, we're a people search website. We focus on online safety. And part of what we do a lot of research every single year. And every week we put out a new YouTube video where we interview victims and we show how they were scammed and we uncover how the scams work. And a lot of times what will happen is scammers will come forward and say, hey, look, I'm no longer a scammer. I want to help you guys out. We get them that come to us all the time. And so a few times throughout the year, we get access to these playbooks and we get access to these scammers that break down exactly how the scams work, how they're evolving. And it allows us to change the way we build our technology. It allows us to educate the public too.
Yeah, what's amazing is that it shows, the manual shows that this is really run like a sophisticated company. It's not just a bunch of random people out there trying to chase you down. In the old days, it seemed pretty easy, crappy grammar, people who just right away start asking for money. But now they're really taking their time. Their grammar is great. And I think you said that they actually are instructed to use a grammar app called Grammarly.
Yeah, they use Grammarly, Google Translate. So a lot of the times when they either copy and paste these messages, and so they're written out really well, they start from basic conversations, they escalate even to sexual conversations. And then anytime anything gets off topic, they'll use a site like Grammarly or a grammar type software to make sure they're checking their grammar.
I also love this, the fact that they tell their workers, I mean, that's what they are, to reach out at 10 p.m. local time for us Americans, because that's when people are most susceptible to flirting. And they say, make sure you send a, quote, good morning message when they wake up. So that people, make sure that you send them out at the right time. And it's the first thing they see during the day. It makes you really think they care.
Yeah, one thing we see a lot of the times when we interview people that have been victims of these scams, they always tell us that these scammers treated them differently than anybody else. They cared about them waking up. They cared about them going to bed. These scams are an evolution of, we all make fun of the Nigerian prince days, but these scams are an evolution of that. And these scammers, they perfect these playbooks. They share them. They're run like multi-level marketing, agencies where there's a guy at the top taking the cut, or, there's people that are sharing information online through public forums.
So I want to share with our viewers some of the messages that they are told to send. I mean, they're really kind of funny, but I guess some people fall for this stuff. They're both romantic, in the category of romantic, and then there's a category of funny, like how to crack jokes. So let's just go through a few here. On the romantic side of things, here's a suggested, thing you can send. You know what the worst part of going to bed is? I have to stop talking to you until tomorrow at least. And then every day I wake up and forget all the reasons that make me sad because I just need one reason to make me happy. You. Good morning. Blech. Okay, so on the funny side of the quotient, here's a couple of the jokes. Please let me capture your picture so I can show Santa what I wish for. And then, what has 4 wheels and flies? A garbage truck. So, ladies, if you're seeing these jokes, know that they're being sent out, en masse, and it's not the guy you think it is. But these aren't the only ones. There are dozens and dozens and dozens of suggested, lines to feed unsuspecting women.
Absolutely. I mean, this is just a small talk. This is the intro stuff to get the conversation going, to make them feel more comfortable with you. These scammers really use psychological principles, and these scams evolve over time. And just like you said previously, they don't just meet you online and ask you for money, they're groomed. And so a lot of the scams that we tend to see where, people accidentally click on a link or, they actually send money to the wrong person initially, those are a lot smaller scams where we're seeing $500 million being reported within our network. So we have a network of about 1 million people. What we have found out is that only about 1 in 3 people report these scams because they're too embarrassed. And so the money that we're seeing that's reported to the FBI and FTC, it's most likely significantly lower than what is actually being lost.
Sure. I mean, it's humiliating to think that you can fall for this. Okay, so if the scammers are getting better, here's a list of some of the things from you, thank you very much, to help avoid the pitfalls. A couple of tips if you happen to be chatting with someone you think you're, falling for. Do a reverse search. When you meet somebody, perform a reverse search. Number 2, don't give money to anybody who's not going to do a video chat with you or meet you in person. Number 3, crypto, forget it, red flag. If they ask for payments in crypto, nah. Number 4, avoid people who claim to be in the military or on an oil rig or live overseas. That's just so convenient as to why they're not in America. And number 5, as always, the bad grammar. It's a major red flag, even Grammarly and Google Translate still screws up. And then, David, they should reach out to you at socialcatfish.com. You've got a whole bunch more tips and help that you can give to them to either avoid or get out of something, right?
Yep, we give a lot of free tips out. So we have a YouTube channel where we profile people every single week, and we break down exactly how scams work and how we found them out. We have hundreds of articles on our site that tell you what to watch out for. And then we also have a paid service. So for $5, you can go run a quick search, know who you're talking to online, and do it in a safe manner.
Let's get these guys. And then you know what? Just keep them talking to get revenge, because the longer you're on with them, if you know who they are, the less time they have to scam someone else. David McClellan, thanks so much. Appreciate you coming on. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.